For everyone, financial freedom, it's different. In the beginning, I was thinking, yes, you need to have millions and millions of millions. And this is what I realized, that it's not about just that. So it's just identify what does it mean for you, because for everyone, it's different.
Welcome to Women's Thrive podcast. This is where you'll get to hear incredible stories of female entrepreneurs, business owners, women from all walks of life. Myself, Raimonda Jan, and my co-host Abigail will be interviewing incredible women, hearing inspiring stories of women from all around the world. I have no doubt that you will find something that will be life-changing for you. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and join us for our future episodes.
Hello and welcome to today's podcast episode with one of your hosts, Raimonda Jan. I'm excited to have you here for today's episode, and today we're talking about financial freedom for women. My guest and the speaker that I have on the podcast today is Ella Rivkin. Hi, Ella. How are you?
Yes. Hello, Raimonda. I'm doing wonderful.
Where are you joining us from today?
From Miami.
Miami is one of my favorite cities in the world. What a beautiful place to live in.
Yeah, I know. I love that. And that was my dream. And now it came to the reality. And I feel so blessed and grateful.
Amazing. I'm in Spain and it's still beautiful here. So we are bringing you some sunny vibes and hopefully a lot of inspiration. Of course, today we're talking about financial freedom for women and how to create a life and a lifestyle that you don't have to book a holiday or vacation from and really have it all. Now, my guest today is Ella Rivkin, who is a renowned financial expert and the visionary founder of ERPS Group. She's committed to empowering business owners and individuals to reach their personal, professional, and financial goals. Guided by her core belief, it's all in your hands. She inspires people to take control of their financial futures and create lasting success. Ella, I think this topic is so important for so many women to be truly empowered. Tell me a little bit more about what's behind your mission in doing this work.
Thank you so much, Raimonda. I think it's a very great topic. I came from this background where we didn't have the money, and I'm immigrant, a refugee. I left when I was 14 years old. And in the beginning, since I wasn't born into this beautiful, amazing life, I needed to create one for myself. Besides just creating one for myself, I needed to figure out what is like everyone else wanted to have happiness, wanted to have all. But all these beliefs, they were just based on what was instilled to me by my mom, my grandparents, by the society. And that's how I started living my life. Luckily, I was able to get it all. I was working very hard because that's the way that I was raised. I was told that you have to work hard, money don't grow on the tree. I was doing all of that. Fortunately, I was able to acquire it all. But then, you know what happened is that I think since I was chasing so much for that happiness, for the financial freedom, thinking that financial freedom will bring the happiness, that I missed the main concept of this whole life. It's about being, not just doing. And I think what for me was like this pivotal point is that, so it's not just about all money, even though, yes, money is amazing because it's a tool that helps us to get where we would like to be. But I think it's more about the being and being able to be that person that you want to be, to have that happiness and to have that beautiful life. As now I say is, and this is why I have created this, it's all in your hands, is that we all have that all. We just need to wake this up in us. And why wait for happiness if you can have it all right away? And I think that was like this pivotal twist in my life.
I hear this saying that people say, money just amplifies more of who you already are. And if you weren't necessarily genuine or kind person, money isn't going to make you that. I love that you say it's about becoming that person, becoming someone that is successful. And money is just relative. I mean, do we need to have multi-millions to be happy? probably not. Financial freedom is great. So how much is enough? What are your thoughts that once you reach that level of success, what is really important? What's important to you?
Yeah. And I love how you mentioned that. That's exactly what I was going through is once I got to that level. And then I was like, okay, but I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy inside. I felt that something was dying in me. And it's because I missed this important concept is what is it going to bring me and what is it going to provide for me? So this is when I started going deeper into the spirituality and discovering my inner self and learning. So it's the way I see it right now. What do I want my perfect day to look like? What do I want my perfect life to look like? When I wake up, what I want to be doing on day-to-day basis. But the most important thing that I live by now is the concept of if this would be my last day on the earth today, what do I want to live? And then if this would be my funeral and I will get a chance to see it, how would I want people to remember me? What are they going to remember me by? Because I was working so much and running after this success. And then when I was asking myself this type of questions in the beginning, it was 10 years ago when I had this breakthrough. I was like, okay, people going to say, she's the best accountant. She gave me the biggest refund. That's not how I want to be remembered.
Oh, wow. So what is the mission now that you want to be remembered for, or the impact that you're making in the world?
The mission, the impact is that I empowered, that I helped someone to grow, someone to be the best version of themselves. I remember a few years ago, one of my employees, she started working with me when I started my own company, and she was there for a very long time with me. And she was getting married, and I was at her wedding, and her mom came to me and she said, "Thank you so much for everything that you did." And it felt like in my heart, because what happened is that this girl that when she started working with me, she was literally just out of the college. And she moved from Florida to New York. I had my office back then in New York. And now I have my oldest daughter is her age when she started with me. And thinking back to that moment, I was like, I wish my daughter would have someone like that as a mentor, like how it will make me feel. And that's how I felt when she told me this. So it's not about the money. It's just being that mentor person. It's being there for the people who need you when they need that advice. They need that to push that needle forward, to move them to that higher level. So it's about elevating others to your level.
I love that. I love that. It's so important. I think mentorship, and once we've been through some things and once we reach the level of success, to give back, to turn
Yes.
around and say, okay, I'm going to bring other people along and support them or help them reach that success. It's amazing. So speaking of that, you mentioned obviously you didn't come from money and you've come from, difficult background and you had to work your way up. What was your childhood like? Where you were born, and just what was your environment like?
My mom was a single mom. My father left when I was like 6 or 7. So my childhood, I was a very sick child. So I was in and out of the hospitals. I was in special schools because of the health issues. And then since my mom had to make a living, and when she needed to go back to work, and since I was born in Russia, we didn't have babysitters, housekeepers. There's no money, so she couldn't take care of us. So in the daycare, it's like a sleepaway daycare. So I didn't get to be at home. I was only at home like on the weekends. And then during the school too, so it was like a special school. We would go there on Monday, me and my brother, and then we would come back on Friday just for the weekends. So it was like a very challenging. But yet I think like everything that happened in my childhood, it shaped me the way I am. It gave me that confidence, that being bold, and the that resilience and like going and pursuing the dreams, not waiting for someone to get it for me, to do it for me, to blame anyone, but just go and get it. And I think another thing that shaped in my childhood that I've been carried with me is I'm very spiritual. Like right now, I think I work more and more spirituality. Is that from that childhood, like all the things that were happening, the way I was living. So that was that life. But then instead of just focusing on that life, I was always thinking of that future, like that visuality in me, even from the childhood, like dreaming about that future. And I think that's what helped me to guide me through where I am today, is that vision of the future that I wanted to create for myself.
The reason why I ask you, because I'm from a similar background. I was born in Lithuania, so I know what it's like. I know the kind of mindset we come from and the limiting beliefs, the social conditioning. There wasn't enough. There wasn't
Yeah.
enough food for everyone. There wasn't enough resources. People lived in lack, and that profoundly affected our belief systems coming from that part of the world, just maybe out of the war or just post-war. The times were tough. Times
Yeah.
were very, very tough. And what your mom had to go through, especially as a single mom, I can't imagine the difficulties that she have had to go through. So that's why I wanted to know, what was your childhood like? So as a little girl, you had a dream. Would you share what was that dream, what was that vision that you had in your mind?
I loved ocean. There's few times when my mom would make this effort and she would take us to the Black Sea. And like I always loved. I loved the ocean, the beach. So that was my dream, is to live on the beach by the ocean, to be able to have access to it every single day. Another thing is that since I didn't have a father, I created this in my mind. I created a husband and a father for my kids.
Yeah.
All the things that I wanted to have with him. I literally, like from the childhood, like I developed all of this, like all the qualities that I want to have. I think it's like everything that I didn't have, I wanted my kids to have. And then the same thing for for me as a husband and for the relationship. And it's interesting because it was never about the money. It was about like, okay, this is what my mom didn't have. This is what I want. So like I took her blueprint and then I created my own in my mind as a child. And then it just went and started implementing in my own life. And money, like I wasn't looking like for a husband to have the money or like find any ways. Like I knew like if that the money will come, like what I believe, what I envision, what I'm going to do, help others. That's another thing. I think it's a beautiful thing that my mom instilled into me. It's to give others. And then in return, everything will just come back to you, and it's just come back even more.
I'm just going to ask you on that, actually, what are your principles when it comes to success? So I know, we don't become successful overnight. And along the way, we create principles by which we live by, which you said, serving others and money will come. What were the principles that you followed on your journey in success and creating your financial freedom?
Yeah, and I think that was like this one of the biggest principles is just giving to others. It's interesting because even when I started my career, when I graduated college, I went with my friends, we went for the dinner, and then one of my friends, she brought her husband. And I was so fascinated with his knowledge. He was in the same field as I am in accounting out of the college. And I was like, oh my God, he knows so much. And then I told myself, I have to stick around that person. So surely that's exactly what I did. I persuaded him to hire me as intern because he said, we don't have money. We just opened our business. I said, I don't care about the money. Like, even though I was out of the college, I was pregnant and I need the money. But I said, you know what? I don't care about money. I was pregnant. I was already like, what, 4 months pregnant, obviously. And I'm 23 years old and no money because I'm building my own life. My husband just got a job. And I was like, you know what? I don't care about the money. And here's another thing is, at that time, besides just graduating in accounting, it was in 98. It was before the year 2K, before all this technology bubble. I went to finish in computer programming because back then it was all very lucrative. They were paying like tons of money for anyone who will be computer programmer because of the year 2K. But I didn't like that. That was not me. That was not something that I was passionate about. I was always passionate since I was a child. I was always passionate about numbers. And then when I met him, I was like, you know what? I don't care about all the other jobs. I just want to be around him. And surely that's what happened. He hired me as an intern. And then later on, a few weeks later, he asked me, talking about, that's why I'm saying like, it's not about the money. A few weeks later, one of his partners, she received a job in the city and then she left. And then guess what happened? She opened up the spot for me to become and work with them. And surely that's what happened. Later on, I became a partner. And it's not always about the money.
And it's so interesting to say that you met someone that you were inspired by. So maybe if your route wasn't that route and you ended up in a job or a firm you didn't really like, or the people you didn't like, maybe you wouldn't have been so inspired. But sometimes it's about the mentor that is so inspiring or empowering and gives you the ladder to start with that makes all the difference. So it's really about surrounding ourselves with the right people to start with.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Yeah, surrounding with yourself with the right people. And here's another thing that I learned too. All the opportunities, they always come to you. You just need to recognize them and grab them. Because sometimes we just don't see this as an opportunity. Because like, again, if I would have back then would reflect, oh, okay, but like, why would I, I'm pregnant. I'm building up a family. Like, why would I go and work there for free? It doesn't seem like an opportunity.
These are the best ones when you believe in yourself and somebody else believes in you and gives you that opportunity. I mean, I love mentoring people, being the first one to give someone the opportunity and being the first one to believe in them, because that gives them such a big pedestal to start with, where other people might be knocking them down or not believing it. We all know getting a job in today's market, especially with no experience, is very, very hard. So I always love being that mentor or someone who given someone an opportunity.
Yeah.
So tell me more, if we had to share some recipes to success, if you could sprinkle the magic dust of Ella to somebody's life right now, maybe they're feeling a bit stuck and it's like, okay, Ella, you go way back and you've taken the time to build your success. If somebody wants that, but they're currently struggling, what would be some of the magic dust that we could sprinkle on somebody's business today, Ella?
Yeah, this is actually a great question. Reflecting back on my experience, I think the first one is the first blocker that is stopping us from the growth. I think it's all internal. It's inside of us. And this is when I realized when I was going through the transition, because a lot of the times we're thinking it's all external. Oh, my parents were not rich and I'm not rich. Oh, my parents didn't give me a good education. Or my husband is not rich. Or it's whatever, vice versa. Whatever it is that excuses that we're saying, whatever beliefs that we have that believe in. But in reality, it's all internal inside of us. And it's being able to acknowledge that and then reverse it into more empowering way, because we have all the power. Instead of just holding to that belief or holding to that past experiences, we can create new ones and we can create them in a moment right away. So I think this is one of the biggest one. And then the second one is, as you mentioned in the beginning, is that for everyone, financial freedom, it's different. In the beginning, I was thinking, yes, you need to have millions and millions of millions. And this is what I realized, that it's not about just that. So it's just identify what does it mean for you, because for everyone, it's different. And I think that's probably because we don't know what it is for us. And then, as I love to say, is we don't know where we're going, then we're not going anywhere. So then I just identify what is it that for you. Identify what your perfect day looks like. Once you identify what your perfect day looks like, then you can take this and then convert it into numbers. Okay, and identify, okay, then now how much money do I need? And then based knowing how much money do you need, then you can start reverse engineering. Okay, so let's say if I need to live that beautiful life the way that I imagined for myself, and I need 100,000 for that. Beautiful. So now let's reverse engineer. Where are you today? Okay, what resources do you have? So if you're working already, or if you already set up some kind of a savings account, investments account, okay, so then let's now plug this into how do you get to this 100,000 that will be paying you. And I'm talking now more about the passive income, because this is what creates that beautiful life, is where you don't have to work for money work for you. And this is the wealth creation formula.
I love that.
So yeah, now we reverse engineer that, as I was saying. Okay, so if you already, some of us, and this is what I learned for myself, is that I realized that I already have what I need to be that financially free. Sometimes it's just we need to dig deeper into the finances. For those that not so good with the finances, then you can always just find that mentor that will help you, and then just create that roadmap to get from where you are today to where you would you like to be. And then once you create this passive income where you don't have to rely on working for it, then it's so beautiful, because then you're working just because you want to. And this is exactly what I'm doing right now. It's because I want to give more. I want to impact more people. And me and you, we had the discussion before the podcast, how now everything that I'm making in my business, I'm putting it into the community, into the charities, in all the events, and I'm sponsoring all of that. So basically what I do is all the money that I earn, I put it back into community to help them grow. And that becomes a completely different life. So I don't depend on this money to make my living, because when you do it, you're in a survival mode. And when you reverse it, it becomes in a thriving, because you're giving to others and you're sharing with others.
And I think when you wanting to be successful, you really mentioned this earlier about giving your success and money the purpose.
Yeah.
Because it's not that satisfying, I must tell you, just to look at your account and see the numbers when it does not have any purpose. Right? Okay, you can go and buy a Chanel bag and Louis Vuitton shoes every other day. And yeah, great. You can go and buy yourself a holiday. But if you don't really have purpose behind it, it's just numbers, right? Think about, what kind of life do you want to live? Why do you want to have that money? For me, I know if I had the money to do the things that I want to do, I want to go to third world countries and establish girls' schools and create educational programs for women to get into entrepreneurship and give back, help others become more literate so they can write books or become writers or copywriters. There's so much money to do that. Like, I just want to give back. Once I get to a certain stage of my business, even my business is designed now to give back in its essence and its purpose. I want to do more. And that's why I want to be successful, to create those opportunities for others. And I think that's where it becomes truly purposeful and meaningful mission that you have. So I know we limited on time today. You've hinted on some really useful stuff. And I know this is the work that you do with other people as far as getting them to financial freedom, to help them map out their finances, work towards those goals. Can you tell me some of the things that you do today to help people? How do you help them? Do you have programs? Do you take clients one-on-one? How can people come and work with you, basically?
Yes. So I do work with people, and I do have one-on-one sessions. I do have one-on-one the financial sessions. At the same time, I also have group classes. I do workshops, and then we also have a mentorship program. So basically, the way I designed it is that it's for anyone. If you are not making any money yet, or if you're just trying to figure out what that financial freedom and going into just stepping in. So then we have the mentorship program. If you want to start your business venture or start already something. So it depends like on which level you are. So we work with any kind of level. It doesn't matter if you're not making anything or you're making already 250,000 or millions. So we're here to work with you. And we have a lot of different programs and systems that I actually had put together through my working experience, working with business owners already for 26 years. We have a 7-figure business model. We have the financial freedom blueprint, the success kit. So we have a lot of systems in place. So it all depends on which stage of your life you are on, financially and personally. And the way we do it is first we identify what are your personal goals, what are your financial goals, what are your career's goals. It's taking that, like, where do you see yourself on that perfect day? And then based on that, we reverse engineer where you are today, and then together we'll put the roadmap to help you get to where you would like to be.
I love that. So if somebody feeling inspired, motivated, and yes, Ella, let me get your phone number. It might not be a phone number, but where do you like to connect with people? How do people get in touch with you?
They can connect with me anywhere. I'm on all social media channels, Ella Rivkin, on Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, on a YouTube channel. So they can subscribe to my YouTube channel. I put lots of videos, educational videos. It's all based on my life experiences, based on the clients' experiences, the way that I'm helping them to grow their businesses and financial freedom achieve for themselves. And then they can call our office, 347-462-2778.
I love that. You got a phone number. I mean, I don't think
Yeah,
I've ever
why not?
interviewed anybody who just gave their phone number on a podcast. Say it one more time, just because I have to hear it.
It's 347-462-2778.
Amazing. So there you are. This is on the speed dial. If you need Ella, if you need that financial support, pick up the phone and give her a call. Of course, it may not be Ella herself, but her team here to support you. And it's amazing. I think when you have the right mentor and the right blueprint to success, it can happen very quickly. I know this from experience. When I have a roadmap, when I know the direction which I'm headed to, there's no second guessing. There's no fluffing about, time wasting, money wasting, and missing the opportunities. And I think the biggest cost that most entrepreneurs don't understand is the opportunity loss, right? The loss of opportunity. And there is a cost associated to that as well, right? When you don't take action and when you don't pursue what you meant to pursue, you miss all of these opportunities. There's a cost to that. So I say, if you're feeling inspired, go check out all the links in the show notes, connect with Ella on her social media. If you may not be ready to invest in yourself, at least follow all the breadcrumbs that Ella has been putting out. She told you that there is a lot of useful and practical information that she shares for free on her YouTube channel. So, hey, all you have to do is just tap in now. Ella,
Yeah.
I'm thrilled to have you at the Women Thrive Summit as well, which is our annual women empowerment event that's happening 3rd week of March. What can people expect at your talk?
I think it's all going to be, again, about the financial freedom. As you mentioned, and I love how you just mentioned, and to that, I like to say the phrase is, becoming wealthy is just a system. How fast you get there, it all depends on you. So it's having these right mentors, as you mentioned, having these mentorship guides, and then that roadmap, that system, then you can just accelerate and start enjoying your beautiful life and create this beautiful, thriving life for yourself. So it's all going to be about that. Sharing my proven strategies and all my experiences. And then, as I also love to say, is why wait for happiness if we can start creating it right away?
Yeah, amazing. Hey, you don't have to wait even for March to get in touch with Ella. I know March is going to be an amazing event that we do every year, featuring more than 50 amazing speakers who have the right tools, guidance, support. And look, this whole success that you might be craving for doesn't happen overnight. And you've heard the background of Ella, what she and her mom had to go through. She wasn't born into money. It didn't just happen. But for me, the biggest takeaway is who you become in the process. And that's the most fulfilling part of becoming independent, empowered, financially free, and being able to do the things that you want and waking up every single day, looking in the mirror and loving the person that you see in a reflection of it. So that's, for me, that was my biggest takeaway today.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. I love that.
Ella, it's been amazing to have you here today. Thank you for your time and sharing your wisdom with our audience. And I can't wait to see you again on our platform.
Yes, and thank you so much for having me. It was amazing. It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks so much. To all of our listeners, if you have enjoyed this episode and feel inspired, go ahead and share it with somebody in your own social network. Make sure that you leave a review on our podcast so other people can discover it. And of course, all the information that we've shared today and links to connect with Ella will be in the show notes. So make sure you tap into it. For now, thank you so much for listening, and we look forward to seeing you on another episode. Take care. Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to Women Thrive podcast. If you found today's episode empowering and inspiring, be sure to subscribe and follow us. Better yet, leave a review and share it with others. We're committed to bringing you more stories that will empower and inspire you on your own journey. Until next time, keep listening, keep learning, and keep pursuing your dreams.